I know you wrote an article, Brown's best player under 25. Take us through that article and who it was and how you arrived there.
So we're in, heavy enlist season. So, one of the things that comes out this type of year is the best players under 25. And most places didn't mention the Browns other than Check the Might sort of mentioned Mason Graham as a possibility for the future. And to me, the guy who I think has a case to be made, it's not the end of the world that he's not on it, is Isaiah McGuire, who's, was in his second year this past year, was, if you were going to pick the biggest success of last year, Isaiah McGuire easily was that player. And some people will look at it and go, well, he only had 1.5 sacks. He was PFF's like third rated defensive end in run defense. He was ahead of TJ Watt in that area. And then you get into the metrics of like pass rush win rate and those type of things. And his base win rate was like 11.8%, which isn't terrific. But then you get into like, the true pass sets. And there he was like 24%, which is exactly what you want. And if he can keep that up and hopefully take another step forward, he's got a chance to be a breakout superstar. Now, there are other players, and this is sort of one, you go back to the Deshaun Watson thing and sort of, you again wring your hands and go, well, we could have had these 3 first-round picks and maybe we have more guys on the list. But DeJuan Jones has a chance to be on that list if he plays well because he's very talented. He's just got to stay healthy. And then you have guys like Cedric Tillman who flashed, obviously hasn't shown near enough. And then the guy that if we did this list last year, everybody would have put Martin Emerson as one of the guys, and certainly the guy for the Browns had a dominant season, and then he goes into training camp and has the joint practice where he shuts down Justin Jefferson. Everybody thinks he's going to be the greatest player in the world, seemingly including Martin Emerson. And then it's sort of whether he takes his foot off the gas or whatever it is, he thinks he's made it. It just doesn't translate that well, and some of that is a product of the fact that their pass rush wasn't as consistent as it has been, but also little mistakes lead to big mistakes. A small physical mistake, a small mental mistake, those things. When you are a guy like Martin Emerson, you're playing a volatile position like corner. Even I'll use Sauce Gardner as an example. His first couple of years in the league, he's the best in the business. Even he last year was dramatically worse from the year before. That position is incredibly difficult. But if Martin Emerson can bounce back, one, we're going to be talking about him in terms of a contract extension, and two, he won't be on this list anymore because he's too old. But that would certainly solidify one of the more important positions on the team.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Think about this. If all 3 of those guys have years like they're capable of, McGuire and Jones and Emerson, all of a sudden we're talking about, what a great job Andrew Berry is doing finding 3rd and 4th round talent. But it goes year to year, and there's a fluctuation until you get into the 3rd year.
Yeah, and some of that is the nature of the beast. I mean, if you're asking me to bet on one of those guys, Isaiah McGuire is easily the one I'd bet on. I just think, even coming out of college, I thought it was a crime that he lasted until the 4th round. Just the combination of youth, athleticism, production in the SEC. I think he has a chance. I was stunned last year. Jacques Zaire in June. They're asking who had potential to be a 10 sack guy on outside of Myles Garrett on a team with Za'Darius Smith and Alex Wright and Obo Okoronkwo. The first name out of his mouth was Isaiah McGuire, who at that point was the 5th end on the depth chart. Now, obviously, Alex Wright was injured and Za'Darius Smith was ultimately traded. But, I don't think anyone would question that Isaiah McGuire has sort of earned his spot as the number 2 player last year and has every reason to believe he's going to be the starter this year with a strong camp.